I'm Sandy Schreck here for Lembush Roses, and today we're looking at some of the fall trends. When we go back to tradition, many times our noses are the things that make us think of some fall things, and Thanksgiving especially. So the next look that we're looking at is actually called Spiced, and it's really taking those rich, warm tones of fall and adding some of the different textural elements, organic materials, and really taking that elegance and bringing in some of those rich shades, and then adding a little bit of copper, that metallic influence that will help to dress up fall a little bit and give it a little bit more of a surprising element to it. So as we take a look at our first design, you'll see a lot of movement's been created. Our focal element in with the large sunflower design, and then bringing some of the copper faux leaves, and then a little bit of the copper metallic wire. But we've done groupings of the red roses, velvet merlot roses. You can see 2 up here and 2 down at the bottom to just bring that line through, and then adding a little bit of that dark element, and then some of the different grasses that really brings that line together. In here you're going to see the greens going a little bit more toward the olive family. And here in the lower olive container, we've just done a simple pave. And something like this kind of container can always be sitting in the front of your design table. And it can be one of those, at the end of the day, you have 1 sunflower left, you have a couple rose heads that potentially have broken off, 1 yarrow, a little bit of the dried material. So this right here is some of the reed grass that she cut off here and brought down into this design. And then 1 of the feathers just to bring that all together. So at the end of the day, you can do a little bit of a clean off your table arrangement rather than putting those onesie-twosies back into your cooler. Use the small containers and do that and get that into your cooler. And rather than throwing it away, let's make money on it. Some of the green and blooming plants that we see featured for fall, the croton is one of the perfect examples that brings in that fun, vibrant feeling of those oranges, yellows, and greens. And so even in naturally produced, we've added a little bit of the faux berry in to just make it feel like it was potentially blooming at some point. And then of course the traditional fall mum. We have these great bushel baskets that come in a variety of colors. Just a simple value-oriented. And then just adding a little bit of the faux feathers to bring in that copper feeling and just dress it up a little bit, and then a little bit of the flat wire. Our next design that we have is featured in one of our copper zen containers and uses some of the lily grass to create some movement, some of the equisetum for a strong line, but it's featuring another flower that is really popular and kind of unusual for fall. The pincushion protea has definitely seen a rise in popularity. We're seeing it in bridal work, event work, but in this design you can see it brings it down into the focal. It's a great strong focal and brings people into the design, and it's a combination of not only looking at fall flowers being palms and carnations, but adding that interesting element of that protea into your design that creates that surprise and draws your customers in. Here we've taken one of the Lembush calanchos, Lembush grown calanchos, and just added some of the preserved elements. So we've got some of the soteria and then some of the protea, preserved protea in there, but just to create a little bit of more of an elements, different elements that draw you in, and just adding that extra value to make you different than your competitors down the street. Of course, a perennial favorite for fall is going to be the pumpkin container. This is one of the traditional pumpkins that we have. Comes in a matte finish, which I really like rather than the glossy. Feels more realistic. And here Allison has done this arrangement for me. She used some of the excellent, just beautiful viburnum berry that we had here, and then really has higher priced flowers, but use them very well. And we've got the pincushion protea up here in a focal, and then a couple of the roses that are placed throughout, and then some of the South American imported hydrangeas that are more of a value flower. and just adding a little bit of a curl of the kiwi vine, and you can see, actually this is left over. Here we have the mumpkin, and this is something that really Pinterest has driven up, and so it's an oasis sphere, and that's cut into different shapes. You can shave off some of the top or the bottom to make different pieces. Here we've just done a loamy tray to create a base to put it in, and just added a little bit of the kiwi vine to the top. But that's something that definitely Pinterest influences our customers, and so you're going to see that out there. It's pretty popular out there right now. And so here we have another design, just bringing in one of the copper ball orbs. But on that, it just catches enough light that it brings you into the design using some of the strong line that we have developed, and the calla lilies just bringing out some movement, and a hanging amaranthus that's in that rich mulberry tones in the berry finishes. So here we have the rich side of it. Our next design, she created some movement using the calla lilies, but sometimes the calla lilies need support, and so I just want to show you the technique quick that we used. This is a loamy column, and you just wrap it around there, and then you feed your calla down through here, and then you can tighten it up on the stem, but that way you can create that uniform look that can help support your calla and really allow you to bring some of that gray motion into design and add that copper feeling. In the spiced family, of course, we have cinnamon as one of our main elements. And so here you can see a design that has taken those cinnamon sticks and really kind of made it its focal. Of course, we've got pomegranate, and we see the quince slices and all of those things that add textural elements. She's used the technique that we did with the calla lilies here to just bring in a sturdiness and feel like you can attach those calla lilies right onto other design elements that you have within your design. So it's kind of cloves, allspice, cinnamon, and nutmeg all combined, all those colors. All those colors in those words bring emotions to our design work, and people connect with those things that they can taste and the memories that they have associated with pumpkin pie and spice. And so it's going to give them something to talk about. Can you imagine this in the middle of a Thanksgiving table? And it gives the consumer something to talk about at the table, that it came from the theme spiced and includes some of those elements and those colors. So use those spice names to describe the color of the mango callas as more of a cinnamon tone, and bring that together and add that value for your customer. So this is spiced and featuring some of the Lembush product that is amazing, and I hope you take some of these ideas into your shop and spice up your Thanksgiving displays.